Proceed. Okay. So looking at the methods of the object class and looking at the methods of the object class yesterday, we came across a method called getClass. Right? And getClass would return okay, let me show that the method which we had. Okay, fine. We had this list of methods of the object class. Yeah, this is the method I'm talking about, right? So we have the method called getClass, and that would return us a class object, right? So what is this? This is name of a class, right? Okay. Okay. Fine. And then we also saw that yes, we can. So there is an object of the type class which exists for all the data types. Okay. So for any data type, yes, we can just put a suffix of dot class and you'll get the class object for that. Okay. Fine. So an object of the type class has information about a data type. The idea is that at runtime, you may like to get information about the types. Okay. Basically, most of the time it is the types which we have defined. Okay. But for any type in Java, you will have an object of type class. Okay. Fine. These objects are created for the primitive types and for the single dimensional array of the primitive types. They are going to be created when the Java is loaded. Okay. Also, each time when the JVM starts, there are a number of classes, right, which it will need in the beginning. Okay, to start with, yes, it will need to load the object class. It loads so many classes. So when it is loading a class, it's creating the object of the type class. Okay, so class objects are created for okay, something like this. Let me try to explain here. Okay. And it would be something like this, that yes, when the JVM would start, yes, let's say we are executing the application called hello world, let's say, even the hello world kind of a thing, right? So even if you say hello world, it will load so many things. There are so many classes it will have to load. Okay, so one thing, even before it can execute anything from hello world, when the class file for hello world will have to be loaded. So when it loads, yes, it will create an object of the type class. So here maybe, so we have a place where the okay. So we will have a place where so there is this object which is of type, the data type is class. Okay. Okay, the object is of type class, but it has loaded the class definition. So what does it load in the class definition? So when you define a class, what do you put in that class definition? Class name. Okay, so it has a method called, so what are the kind of methods in this class? Oh, we have a method called getName. Every type has a name, so getName will be a method. Okay, fine. Then what else goes in a class definition? Okay, just ignore that. Okay, it's let's think of a rectangle class. Yeah, if we had loaded a rectangle class, what information have we put in the rectangle class? We have put that, yes. Okay, height is, yeah, but from the point of view of height is an attribute of the rectangle. So when a rectangle is created, yes, space for height will be there. But when the class object is created, what will it hold? Name. What else did we mention? What have we put? We put the variables. Okay, we call them as fields. Okay, we call them as fields. So it will even have method. Fine, I'm just giving you ideas. Get name returns a string, right? As a string, yes, you can get the name of the type, right? If it's a class, right? See, if say is primitive is true, we know there are methods to verify whether it's a primitive, right? And we saw yesterday. Okay, so is primitive returns a boolean. Same way, is interface returns a boolean. Is annotation returns a boolean. We can check what type it is. Okay, so we have methods to return boolean. And so this is a class object for which type you can know the name. You can also, if it's a fine. So if it's a class type, you can even say, okay, get declared fields. Yeah. So when, yes, you are talking about, okay, that it has a length and width, that's basically a set of fields which we have declared in the, fine, in our class definition. The entire information of the class definition is going to be available. So a method like get declared fields returns an array of field. Yes, so that's going to be another class called field. Okay, and then field will say, okay, what is the name, what is the type. Yeah, you can go further and further. So lot of information, the entire information about your class definition is available, right? Okay, fine, we'll not go into all those okay, again, what's there in the field and then explore each and everything, but this just to give an idea that yes, at runtime information about a type to a very greater detail is available. Okay, fine, someone can write a code to analyze, right, what all things are there, or how many fields have been declared, fine, even the names of the fields, everything will be available. So what you write in your Java file, right, it is becoming available at runtime also. Okay, fine, object of class. There's see, in Java you'll come across so many things. So there's something called reflection API. Okay, Java reflection API. So yeah, we are not going into this. Okay, but yes, this is related to reflection, right? Okay, and so when someone is talking about reflection, you think, oh, he is talking about the class called class. Okay, starting point for reflection would be the class. And so many, so yeah, a few more methods, like we have a method called getName. I think I mentioned yesterday also, we have a method called getSimpleName. Okay, that would also return a string. Understand the difference between getName and getSimpleName? When I say getName, it's a full name. GetSimpleName means the last element. Right? Full name includes a package. Okay. Okay. So without the package prefix. That's a simple name. Okay. And so such methods are existing. Okay. Fine. So yeah, now let's think about the other methods of the object class. When clear what is class? I just wanted you to understand that there is something called class. Just a brief idea that yes, what kind of information it contains. Okay, what else? Okay, just a few more things. Like we have a get declared fields, returning a array of field, right? What other things do we have in a class definition? That can give you idea of what kind of methods we'll be having. Like get declared fields. Yeah. A class has fields. Methods. So we even have method called get declared methods. Okay. And you'll have something like get declared methods. Okay, so this is like exploring a class definition at runtime. Okay, and that should return array of, oh, there will be a type called method. That's also another class. Okay, we're not going into those methods again. Fine, those classes. Information about a method. Method has a name, method has parameters, method has a return type. So whenever someone talks about a type, it would be about a class name. Okay, even something like, oh, you are defining a class, class has a superclass. Okay, so when your class has a superclass, you even have a method like get superclass. So yeah, let's say a method called get superclass. Sorry, C will be lowercase here. Okay, get superclass. So what do you think will it return? What's the type it should be returning? Get superclass.
Class name.
Class name. So type is what, string or
String. String.
the type is class. That's a superclass.
Oh, sure.
The type for the superclass. Okay. And whenever it's about type, that means it's about the class. And object of class represents a type. That's what we have to remember. Anywhere someone wants to know about the type, it's about the class. Okay. Fine. See, like a field, when you say field, you'll say get the type of the field. And it would be returning a class. So I'm not going into methods of field again. Fine, we can, okay, because there's so much of it. Okay. So yeah, if you are interested, this field or method, and similarly, there's also a class called constructor. These are all part of Reflection API, and they belong to a package. They don't belong to java.lang package. Okay, these field and method, they belong to the java.lang.reflect. Okay, that's a package, java.lang.reflect. So java.lang.reflect.field. It's not straight away available, and because your import is java.lang.star, and it won't include the field. Straight away you can't be using the field, and you'll have to say import java.lang.star, or and then start using field, method, constructor. They can then be used. Okay, fine, clear? Okay, fine, good idea about, yeah, what a class object is. Okay, and for one class definition, there'll be only one class object. Fine, a class will not be loaded multiple times. Okay.